Hi, good morning, and welcome back to Bible on Audio, where I read the word aloud and you follow along or just listen. Today we're in Genesis 44. We left off in 43 when Joseph's brothers had joined him to eat, and he had just excused himself because he was so emotional about Benjamin, his younger brother, being there also. So now we're going to start with Genesis 44, but I'd like to open up in prayer. Dear Father God, thank you for being in this place with us. I ask that you bless the listener and the viewers out there. May it be your word and your voice that they hear, not my own. May I never take lightly what it is to be in your word. May it be something that we understand and receive, and that we may be able to one day share with others as we grow in relationship with you. I pray that we're able to put everything aside right now and give you not enough time, but a moment, Lord, a moment to be in your presence. In your most precious name I pray. Amen. Genesis 44, Joseph's cup. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, fill the men's sacks with food as much as they can carry, and put each man's money in the mouth of his sack. Also put my cup, the silver cup, in the mouth of the sack of the youngest, and his grain money. So he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. As soon as the morning dawned, the men were sent away, they and their donkeys, when they had gone out of the city and were not yet far off. Joseph said to the steward, get up, follow the men, and when you overtake them, say to them, why have you repaid evil for good? Is not this the one from which my Lord drinks, and with which he indeed practices divination? You have done evil in so doing. So he overtook them, and he spoke to them these same words, and they said to him, why does my Lord say these words? Far be it from us that your servants should do such a thing. Look, we brought back to you from the land of Canaan the money which we found in the mouth of our sacks. How then could we steal silver or gold from your Lord's house? With whomever of your servants it is found, let him die, and we also will be my Lord's slaves. So they don't know that Joseph has done that, but that is what happened. Joseph, wanting to stop them and bring them back, has plotted by putting his cup in one of their sacks, and not just one of their sacks, but the youngest brother, knowing that it would tear his father apart if he had to keep Benjamin, right? So let's keep reading. Verse 9, when whomever of your servants is found, let him die, and we also will be the Lord's slaves. And he said, now also let it be according to your words. He with whom it is found shall be my slave, and you shall be blameless. Then each man speedily let down his sack to the ground, and each opened his sack. So he searched. He began with the oldest and left off with the youngest, and the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Then they tore their clothes, and each man loaded his donkey and returned to the city. So Judah and his brothers came to Joseph's house, and he was still there, and they fell before him on the ground. And Joseph said to them, what deed is this you have done? Did you not know that such a man as I can certainly practice divination? Then Judah said, what shall we say to my Lord? What shall we speak, or how shall we clear ourselves? God has found out the iniquity of your servants. Here we are, my Lord's slaves, both we and he also with whom the cup was found. But he said, far be it from me that I should do so. The man in whose hand the cup was found, he shall be my slave. And as for you, go up in peace to your father. So he's telling them he doesn't want all of them to stay. He just wants the one who had the cup. And he knew it was Benjamin. And so they're obviously all torn up about this. As he's saying that they have to return back to their father without the youngest. Judah intercedes for Benjamin. Verse 18. Then Judah came near to him and said, O my Lord, please let your servant speak a word in my Lord's hearing, and do not let your anger burn against your servant, for you are even like Pharaoh. My Lord asked his servants, saying, have you a father or a brother? And we said to my Lord, we have a father, an old man, and a child of his old age, who is young. His brother is dead, and he alone is left for his mother's children, and his fathers love him. And his father loves him. Then you said to your servants, bring him down to me, that I may set my eyes on him. And we said to my Lord, The lad cannot leave my father, for if he should leave his father would die. But you said to your servants, unless your youngest brother comes down with you, you shall see my face no more. So they're saying he asked them who all was in the family, and that's why he said they gave the brothers and the father. And not knowing that they would have done harm by saying that they had a younger brother staying behind, they just answered him earnestly, is what they're saying. Verse 24. So it was when we went up to your servant, my father, that we told him the words of my Lord. And our father said, go back and buy us a little food. But we said, we cannot go down if our youngest brother is with us. Then we will go down, for we may not see the man's face unless our youngest brother is with us. Then your servant, my father, said to us, you know that my wife bore me 2 sons, and the one went out from me. And I said, surely he is torn to pieces, and I have not seen him since. But if you take this one also from me, and calamity befalls him, you shall bring down my gray hair with sorrow to the grave. He's saying, I shall die. I already lost 1 son, which is Joseph. And then you taking Benjamin would surely send me to the grave. But this is what Joseph, who's the overseer of all the food. He's the king's overseer. That's what he wants. He wants the youngest one to come back. Verse 30. Now therefore, when I come to your servant, my father, and the lad is not with us, since his life is bound up in the lad's life, it will happen when he sees that the lad is not with us, that he will die. So your servants will bring down the gray hair of your servant, our father, with sorrow to the grave. For your servant became surety for the lad to my father, saying, if I do not bring him back to you, then I shall bear the blame before my father forever. Now therefore, please let your servant remain instead of the lad as a slave to my Lord, and let the lad go up with his brothers. For how shall I go up to my father if the lad is not with me, lest perhaps I see the evil that would come upon my father? So Judah is saying, keep me instead of my brother, so that he may live, so his dad won't be so torn up about it. And he's saying, I will stay as your servant. I will, one life for life. So let's read on in chapter 45. Joseph revealed to his brothers. Then Joseph could not restrain himself before all those who stood by him, and he cried out, make everyone go out from me. So no one stood with him while Joseph made himself known to his brothers. And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard it. Then Joseph said to his brothers, I am Joseph. Does my father still live? But his brothers could not answer him, for they were dismayed in his presence. And Joseph said to his brothers, please come near to me. So they came near. Then he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. But now do not therefore be grieved or angry with yourselves, because you sold me here. For God sent me before you to preserve life. For these 2 years the famine has been in the land, and there are still 5 years in which there will be neither plowing nor harvesting. And God sent me before you to preserve a posterity for you in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So now it was not you who sent me here, but God, and he has made me a father to Pharaoh, and Lord of all his house, and ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. Hurry and go up to my father and say to him, thus says your son Joseph, God has made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down to me, do not tarry. You shall dwell in the land of Goshen, and you shall be near to me, you and your children, your children's children, your flocks and your herds, and all that you have. There I will provide for you, lest you and your household and all that you have come to poverty, for there are still 5 years of famine. And behold, your eyes and the eyes of my brother Benjamin see that it is my mouth that speaks to you. So you shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that you have seen, and you shall hurry and bring my father down here. Then he fell on his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept on his. Moreover, he kissed all his brothers and wept over them. And after that, his brothers talked with him. Now the report of it was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brothers have come. So it pleased Pharaoh and his servants well. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, say to your brothers, do this, load your animals and depart, go to the land of Canaan. Bring your father and your households and come to me. I will give you the best of the land of Egypt, and you will eat the fat of the land. Now you are commanded, do this, take carts out of the land of Egypt For your little ones and your wives, bring your father and come. Also do not be concerned about your goods, for the best of all the land of Egypt is yours. Then the sons of Israel did so, and Joseph gave them carts according to the command of Pharaoh, and he gave them provisions for the journey. He gave to all of them, to each man, changes of garments. But to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of garments. And he sent to his father these things, 10 donkeys loaded with the good things of Egypt, and 10 female donkeys loaded with grain, bread and food for his father for the journey. So he sent his brothers away, and they departed. And he said to them, see that you do not become troubled along the way. Then they went up out of Egypt and came to the land of Canaan, to Jacob their father. And they told him, saying, Joseph is still alive, and he is governor of all the land of Egypt. And Jacob's heart stood still, because he did not believe them. But when they told him all the words which Joseph had said to them, and when he saw the carts which Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob their father revived. Then Israel said, it is enough. Joseph my son is still alive. I will go and see him before I die. Well, everyone, that was 44 and 45. And if it doesn't hit you like it's me, I pray one day you come back to this message, and it does, because he's saying everything meant to hurt you, to plot against you, God can make it be used for your good. And that's what happened here. Joseph is saying, you might have sold me, but it isn't you who did it. It was God who saw that I would be able to provide for you, to free you from famine, to feed you when there would be no food on the earth for 7 years. That's a long time. So when he reveals himself, he's telling them this lesson that they should also take with them. And it's that everything used to harm you, God will make it for your good. And I think that's such a great message. I hope you enjoyed this read. God bless you. Take care. Bye.